Oh, hello back, everyone. Um, this is a new topic of the week. And first of all, I want to say hi, Summer. Hi, Virgo. And thank you so much for the compliment about my accent giving me more, how would say that, more incentive to continue. Okay. And one thing, even if I want to change my accent, I can't. That's me. Okay. I love your presentation, Summer, and the way you present yourself. So uh, it was really uplifting, and I loved it. Just loved it. Okay, and it would be my pleasure to meet you and to meet every one of you. And Lady Fox, I love, 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 love your new look. You look terrific. Okay, so with no further ado, I hope this is the way you say that. I will go to the topic of the week. Okay, the first question I asked was, how do you think that misconception and generalization are the most widely spread? Have you ever felt victimized by it, or have you as well have preconceived ideas about someone because of their ethnicity, belief, or culture? And the last part was, and as you become aware of it, how do you deal with it? Okay. First of all, for me, misconception, the way I interpreted it is, I think it's just a distorted view of others people reality, and that can be spread in two forms: written or oral. Um, it has to do with a no comprehension of something, like some things that you have a hard time to make sense of it because you're not used to that. There's something new to you. And as for generalization, it is it is applying that misconceptions from one person to many. It means that you have a tendency to say, okay, such is from that country, she does that, so everyone over there are the same. This is a generalization of a misconceptions. Okay, let's say one good example I think was really proof of that was after 9/11. Mistrust and misconception came about in generalizing all Arab as potential terrorists. Okay, many people toward the Arab community start to gain mistrust because of ignorance. It was partly ignorance because not all Arabs are Muslim and extremists. You have Arab who are Catholics and I'm a Jewish and so on. So we cannot say that all Arabs are terrorists. Okay, another way I think misconception is being is oh sorry is being spread is through literature, media, such as TV, newspaper, and I hope you agree with me because we have the example every day, every day. Just look at the last things they said about Iraq, that they had they were terrorists because they had that and such and this, and you know and I think it was a bunch of lies, and everyone here was seeing them as a threat. They said, yeah, we have to go to war because they're gonna come and bomb here and stuff like that. A lot of people came to think about that. So we have to be careful. I think we have really to be careful to accept everything as truth. Okay. Another example about is I remember as a child when I was reading one of the first book I read was about European, because I loved everything that has to do with traveling. It was European traveling to New Guinea, and the setting was in the 1600s. And the way they describe the encounters with naked savages impressed me. I was imagining, as a kid as well, you have a vivid imagination. So I was imagining people with fiery eyes, their big pot on a fire, because this is how it was portraying. Because remember those old books, they have the image, they have the picture and the text by the side. So imagine what I would do. And so I think this type of misconceptions being spread has to do with it is an ethnicity misconceptions. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the second part of it. Is have I ever felt victimized by it? Yes, I did. Well, a clear example of it is when I first got in the state. I ended up in LA and I started to work in a donut shop. And as people get to know that I was from France, and assumption begins and meant most of the Mexican would start to harass me in order to obtain sexual favors. I had even one guy came up to the shop and opened his flyer and showed me his penis, showing how big it is, like it was of importance to me. I was just baffled, and I could not understand why. Why was it? Why would they act like that with me? And as time passed on, and I started to know Mexican people more, I started to make another one who were harassing me. I started to be friends with them, and we started to have conversation about difference in culture and how we view others. And one of my friends said, "Oh, yeah, what we know in Mexico is that in France the women are really loose and they can have sex anywhere." And I was, "What? Are you sure of that?" Yeah. I have friends who went to France and they said the women were making love in plane, in bathroom, anywhere. So this is how I got to understand why the people were acting like that with me in the beginning. Just they assumed because I was from France, I would do the same thing. So this is misconceptions and generalizations again. And that did affect me because I was feeling being harassed, and that was annoying because I don't like people to come up to me like that. I never liked that, And I don't think this is a right way to approach someone if you have an interest in someone. It's just, to me, this is demeaning. It just means that you are interested only in my lower part, but not who I am about. So for me, it's a no-no. So, and okay, that was really stunning to hear that answer. But okay, and wow, I'm still under the impression. But okay. Okay, and the third part was, do you as well have misconceptions? Oh yeah, we know we all do. And I did. I'm guilty as well. I have that tendency to have misconceptions about things, and most of the time it's out of ignorance and propaganda through films. It's just that I think there are some misconceptions who can be hurtful, and others that more like benign. Like the kind I had was it had to do with stereotype, with a Mexican again. And through film, you see that they portray the Mexican as having the big sombreros, and the big belly, and always sleeping in the afternoon, and with their their legs like half open, not really straight. So when I came here and I saw a big, tall, beautiful Mexican and different type, I was like, oh yeah, really. And that was amusing the way, because we used to make fun of each other with my friend. Of that I was saying, yeah, you guys always sleep all afternoon, and there's a cactus, la siesta, always siesta, and they would and after that, they would start and say, oh yeah, French people don't bath. They don't put underarm. And you see, we would make fun of that. This is how we came to deal with that type of misconception, like making something funny, not, something that we have to be hard on it and really say, no, that's not good because they're different and they're all like that. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So, another conception I have, this one, I don't know if I can say, it's not cultural, it's not ethnic, or maybe not even belief, because it has nothing to do with religion. It's about gender. And this is something I want to address, because HottTopixx will revolve a lot around that. And I think it is important to break down that misconceptions and to make people aware of what it is. I was glad to know about it and understand a little bit better. And it's about about transgenders, the difference, and how big is the spectrum. It's not only about travestite, which was what I thought it was. It was just people, men in dress, who like boys were gays. For me, they were gay. It was gay people liking to dress in woman clothes, and I didn't know there were trans men. For me, they were just women who like women. They were lesbian, and as I came in contact with more people, I came to know them and understand, because when I came here, actually, the United States, for me to come to the United States was a big eye-opener, because my first encounter with transgender was with Mexican people again. They were really, really lovely ladies from Mexico, and this is where I become to start knowing what it was. Not exactly, but knowing that there were people who were in the wrong body who felt like women. And as I came to know them, I understand them, I would see them as women and nothing else, because for me they were women. And as I say, it's not what you have between your legs who makes you woman or man. It's not that. For me, it's more than that. So I changed my view on that, and now I try to be more open-minded when I see things that I start to think about people a certain way and trying to think that they're all the same. I stay more open, and as you said, Virgo, I research a lot as well, because I think it is an important part of being able to be compassionate toward others and understand them better, is to research and to understand. And not everything that is put out there as well is true, but I think if you have, you can have a bit of discernment, because when you see like something being repeated over and over and over, it might be closer to the truth, I think. So this is how I direct myself, and I help myself understanding different topics. anything. It doesn't. It's not only about a translator, but any topic. Not to fall into that pattern of me construing things and thinking about about others in a certain way they are not, because what I am applying toward other people is my own reality, the way I was raised has a big things to do with it, the way I think, what I read, all that influence and on how I perceive others. So I'm learning, I'm growing, and I hope we will help other people to grow and become more comprehensive toward others and understand that sometimes you don't choose who you are. There are some things that are innate in you. It is in you. You cannot change it. Okay, so if you would like to be part of HottTopixx, there are still some slot open. I would encourage you to join us, and tell us what you think about and what are your point of view, and maybe together we can really create a better world. Bye. So this is Mary from HottTopixx, and see you next week. Love you all.